You know when we're going off?
We're going off right now, Petey. Crew Call Live, Crew Call Live, Crew Call Live. This is Crew Call Live, my weekly discussion with sports entertainment professionals. And man, do I have a great guest today. He is a television cameraman in this industry for over 30 years, maybe even close to over almost 40 years, probably. He's been one of the legends in our industry in New York and nationally. He's done has an amazing body of work, has worked with legends in the industry. And I think he is one of our legends in this industry, and he's just one of the greatest guys. He's one of the guys when I first met him, he was more than just another camera guy. He was the first camera guy that I said, this guy's actually an artist. With the glass or without the glass, this guy is an artist. So please welcome to Crew Call Live, my friend, the legend, Pete Stendel. Pete, thank you for joining me on Crew Call Live today, buddy. How are you today?
Well, great introduction. How can I say anything after that? Uh, Great. I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I'm all about stories, man. You're one of the great storytellers in our business, but you have one of the best stories about getting into this business. Tell me how you got your start, man. I know this story, so I can't wait to hear you tell it again for me.
Well, I had a godfather in this business, and everyone, no matter who you are, whether you're a utility or whether you're a producer or a director, it doesn't really matter. Everyone has a godfather, someone who helped them get in the business, someone who gave them advice, kept them between the lines, and what have you. And my godfather was David Hagen, Dave Hagen. So, he was my best friend and blood brother as well. So anyway, we're sitting to the we're sharing an apartment, and I'm in my underwear watching television in the next room, and Dave calls me and he says, "Stendel, get in here." I go in there and Dave's on the phone. He goes, he goes, "I just told this." He goes, "Do you want to work in a major motion picture?" And I go, "Whoever asks you that?" And I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say. And he goes, "Say yes, asshole." And I go, "Yes." And he goes, "I just told this lady that you just moved here from California, you're working in the movie industry, and you want to continue your career here. Here's the phone." So he gives me the phone, and it was Ellen Shire, um, Garrett Brown's girlfriend, and she hired me to work on Rocky 2 for 3 days. And I had no idea what I was doing, or no idea what I was getting myself into. So I show up the next day, and the next day is the pet house scene, and I'm down the street directing traffic. I don't do anything. Second day, they're trying to set up a shot with a 55-gallon drum and the train coming, and Frankie Stallone singing a song and everything,
Oh
and
yeah, the doo-wop scene. Yeah.
setting this up. And I'm about 10 feet away from the producer and the director, and they're having a talk. And it's my second day in the business, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And they're talking, and they're going, "Well, we've got the train, we're lining this thing up. And how do we do this?" And they're talking about it. And I said out loud, so loud enough so they could hear me, because didn't know I wasn't supposed to say anything. I go, "Well, if you put a guy on the roof up there with a walkie-talkie, he'll have line of sight and you can communicate and set it up, no problem." And the producer heard me, and he turned around to the director and said, "Who the hell's this guy?" And the director goes, "I don't know." And the producer turns around and looks at me and he goes, "Who are you?" And I go, that's when I realized I shouldn't have said anything. And I said, "I'm a PA." And he turns around to the director and he goes, "Fucking PA knows what to do." And then he turns around to me and he goes, "What makes you think you can get on that roof?" And I go, "This is Rocky 2, after the success of Rocky 1. I go, "Buddy, you own this town. You can pretty much do anything you want right now." And he turns around and he goes, "Give this guy a walkie-talkie." So Dave Hagen and I drug him up there, and when they made the shot, long story short, we go to to knock on the door, and I tell the lady we want to go get on her roof, and she says, "Did you eat yet?" No, it was no question. It was started. It was funny.
That's a
And
good Philly story.
yeah, but the next day was even better. I was leaning against, I smoked cigarettes at the time. I'm leaning against the wall. They just fed us sandwiches, cold cuts in a big union hall. And I'm just waiting to go to work or do nothing because that's pretty much what I was doing. And the door opens and it's Stallone. And he's not the big star he is today, but he was the big star. And he says to me, he goes, yeah, can you working with us? And I go, yeah. He goes, can you make a roast beef sandwich? And I go, yeah, make a real good roast beef sandwich. He goes, make me a roast beef sandwich. And I go, this is great. I'm making him a roast beef sandwich. So I go in and I know how to make a roast beef sandwich. And I do it all right in the way I do it. So mayonnaise. And I bring it back, I knock on the door. Stallone opens the door. Come on in. God, really? I go, after the day I had yesterday, and now I'm getting invited to the room. This is great. I go, I got a career here.
Yeah, have a lunch with Stallone, sure.
I give Stallone the plate. He goes, hey, sit down. He offers me to sit down. I go, this is great. He takes 2 steps back, puts the plate on the floor and goes, Butkus. He's remember Butkus the dog? The dog 3 leaps from the fucking other end of the trailer and devours the sandwich in 3 gulps. It was hilarious. Stallone really punked me good. And so that was the start. And I went home and told Dave the story of what happened. He goes, did you have a good time? I said, I had a really good time. He goes, well, you can see I'm having a good time doing this too. He goes, you should get involved in this. You'd be something. You could do this. And so I did that. I got involved and I did TV commercials in Philadelphia for 2.5 years and learned all about the cameras and lights and learned from guys who were just out of college too. So we were making a lot of good friends and had a pretty good time.
So back then it was film that was your first entry. When did you make the transition from film to start doing TV and then sports? Was it talk shows or was it sports? What was that switch from the commercial stuff and movies to sports?
Well, it was never film. It was all video, but the transition happened, and it's according to my godfather's schedule. Dave was working for ESPN and doing a lot of things with them, and he got an offer to be a vacation relief, a VR at NBC, and so that left a hole at ESPN. So Dave lied again and said that this would be the guy, I would be the guy that they should call if they needed somebody. And they did. They called me. Marty Ehrlich called me up the next day. And the next thing I knew that weekend, I was up at West Point shooting camera 4 end zone on a football game. And I played football in college. I knew football. And so I didn't have any problem with camera 4. And then at the end of the game, they said, what are you doing next weekend? And that was it. And I started working for ESPN like mad. Thursday night boxing, everything you can ever think of. And that set me up and gave me all the experience so that when the vacation relief position came available at NBC, I got it. I jumped in there. Yeah.
But yeah, so let's talk about a little bit about that. Vacation relief is something that used to happen because the networks, when it was major networks were involved in most of the productions that happened, were mostly a lot of staff guys. And then those staff guys, because they were staff, all had vacation. And everybody likes to vacation in the summer. So as a freelancer back in the day, you've been doing this a long time. Yeah, and being a full-time freelancer, never really getting, a lot of people don't realize it. We're not staff. We don't have a real guaranteed job. We're always filling your calendar based upon clients and everything else. So, you weren't having, vacation relief was just an opportunity to fill in for guys who really had a guaranteed work schedule. So you were only going to get a taste over the summer of that. It wasn't enough to make your year. So how did you fill in the gaps and make it all work for you at that time, being so young?
Well, they took me on as a vacation relief, and I had sports experience. I had studio experience. I had experience without having any experience. And I started working on the Letterman show. because I did baseball, I started working for Harry Coyle and shooting baseball for NBC. For those of you who don't know, Harry Coyle is the man responsible for inventing camera 4 in baseball, center field. Harry Coyle
Which,
was a
yeah, the pitcher
B-52
batter
bomber
shot.
pilot. Harry Coyle was a B-52 bomber pilot in World War II. He invented camera 4. I got a chance to work with him, so that was pretty cool. I worked with a lot of really, really fantastic people throughout the years, and he
Yeah,
was one of them.
you sent me a list of your name of the names of some of these guys. I mean Bob Fishman, Hall of Famer. Joe Assetti, CBS. I think he's also a Hall of Famer. Harry
Oh
Cole,
my
I believe.
God.
Yeah, the list. Drew Esikoff, probably a future Hall of Famer. John Gonzo, John. Yeah, I mean John Moore, great guy, great director. Sandy Grossman, Hall of Famer, Fox guy, phenomenal director. Did umpteen Super Bowls. Suzanne Smith, Mark Grant, all CBS great directors. Frank Rosenberg and who and
Andy Rosenberg.
who
Andy
was that?
Rosenberg,
Oh, oh yeah, Andy Rosenberg. Yeah. Oh, he was.
Eddie Nathanson.
Did you do?
Andy Rosenberg, undoubtedly the best director ever in basketball because he had the guns behind the cameras that backed his butt up totally. And he had also some of the best games going on too. I mean, this is when the Bulls were
The
riding
five, yeah,
riding herd on
5 time champion,
everybody
yeah. All
along with
those NBA, and it's funny, it's coming back now. The NBA on NBC is back
Detroit
this season,
Pistons. Man, it
but
was
he was the
great.
guy that put it on the map.
Yep, yep.
Were you doing a lot of those games? What were you?
I
Was that
did. I was really fortunate that I was with NBC um, for the NBA on NBC, the original. They're doing a redo now. I wish them all the luck, but they'll never quite can get to where it was back in the '90s because we had Andy Rosenberg and we had some really really fantastic cameramen. You know, Craig Bianco,
Oh
Dave
yeah, yeah.
Tall, Dave Hagen on camera 5, Bobby Basile, uh, Eric Eisenstein. We were loaded. We were
Yeah.
it was like cheating. We were so good. We was a really fun bunch, and um, and it
What's
was
that
great
like? I mean,
because we
talk
had the
about that.
Pacers and the Bulls, and it was great. There's a million stories in there too. Believe you me.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you get a bunch of guys together who are at the peak of their careers, doing great work, and the games are, when you feel you're at the top of your game. I mean, I still think you're at the top of your game. Like you're well past the age wise, you're in your 60s, let's say, and you're still doing handheld. You were on it the other night underneath the basket, getting in there for Nets basketball. You're still a regular doing it on Mets baseball, running up with the RF camera. I mean, you're not afraid. Let's talk about the physicality of doing that. So, like, when was it for you to make the commitment to say, like, you know what? First of all, I mean, you're a phenomenal handheld guy. And I don't have to tell you that. You have an incredible eye. You developed it. You're good at it. It's just it might be one of your best, your forte, but you did develop that. So, but you had to put the time in, the 10,000. You probably do have the 10,000 hours in on it. So, but what was the commitment for you to say, like, you know what? I think I want to do this long term. I like having it in my hand because you could have easily transitioned to the hard camera and been jumped on, and done your way that way.
There's so many. The little story that I can tell is when I have two sons, Kai and Cody, and Kai picked up the camera and started walking around with me in the backyard. We've got a lot of tall trees in the backyard, and it lets sunlight through, and it filters the light. And if you move around just the right way, you can create some really beautiful images of flowers and all sorts of things. And when you start to realize that you can move around and it's not just in one place, and you can be how creative you can be, it's just I don't see. I couldn't take the hard camera and do what I'm doing with a handheld. It's so
You
much
know,
fun.
that is the perfect answer for you, Pete, because it makes so much sense to me. Because you're a guy that loves to have all the creative abilities you want to have at your disposal, and positioning is one of those keys because you know how key with a hard camera you're stuck. Sometimes you are in that position and somebody blocks your shot, and you're like, oh, you can't do nothing about it. You're just you're useless because you can't yell, hey, excuse me, you down front, can you move out of the way? You're stuck. But you, as a handheld, you can get in those shots. I mean, you have that ability to think ahead. But you said football. I mean, football. I feel like was when when I saw you shine so many times in my career working next to you. But one of the times that I got a chance to see your work shine as a viewer was one of the Super Bowls when I forgot what year it was the Pittsburgh, the Santonio Holmes catch. Talk about working on that crew and getting to a game like that, and then being the guy that gets that shot that becomes a game-winning definitive look, and it was perfect.
Well, I've shot a bunch of Super Bowls, and it's the big games, the championship games, the Super Bowl, whatever it is. It's the big games that people are watching, and big games bring big moments. And in big games, big stars shine. And that's your opportunity. And you have to be thinking about it, and you have to be thinking about it like that. And you have to want it. You have to want to get that shot, to be the one that's there when it counts.
Do you remember being there? Do you remember that moment?
I
Like there
remember the
you are,
guys
like
who were
in
right
that
next
moment,
to me.
and then
Yeah, I
you
put
made
the
that
camera
decision to
down.
switch it too. You made
I
that
got to tell
decision.
you, yeah, I know the guys, the Sports Illustrated cameraman was right next to me, and Donnie Marks from NFL Films. This is my shot. The toe, the whole deal, the whole 9 yards,
I
full
mean,
metal jacket.
I'm going to free that. I mean, if I could
So
bring,
I go ahead and make that shot. That shot.
yeah, look at
Look at
that
it.
feet inbounds. It's beautiful, man. That's
The
framing
whole thing.
101. Yeah,
The
feet
whole thing.
inbounds. It tells the whole story. And there you are. But like, what makes me really crazy about this particular replay is that you have the greatest replay ever in a Super Bowl. One of them, perfect, tells the story, and then you see and you make the quick decision and go low with it and get another great angle of it. Like you could
Oh
have
yeah.
easily
Oh
you
yeah.
you
Oh
you,
yeah.
you
Because he sat there for just for a moment. He sat there, and I go, "This isn't the shot. The shot is down below. The shot is, you'll see it. Oh yeah, absolutely." And Drew got off me. As soon as Drew popped off me, I put it down on the floor.
yeah. Well, I mean, you and Drew have worked
There's a
together for a
story
long.
behind the story, and I'll tell the story because I've never told this story, and this might as well be a good place as any to tell the story. There's a little button on the zoom on there, and that's a bad, bad, bad button. And if you don't disarm this button and you hit that button, it's a zoom check button, and the lens automatically flies and zooms all the way in really tight, and then pops all the way out. Well, I had the shot. Roethlisberger let go of the ball. I stay with Roethlisberger and the ball as long as I can. I go ball for a nanosecond. Fred Gradelli does not like to just see ball. That's NFL films that doesn't show you anything. Balls in the air, big deal. So I'm coming out to show the play, the catch being made, the defender, the whole thing. Well, in between then, I hit that little button and the whole thing zoomed all the way in. But because Tommy Hayes is my tape operator, Tommy Purple Hayes. So I'm good right here. I'm good right here. I'm good right here. And then I zoom all the way in. So I'm not good there at all. I put it down
Oh,
on the ground because that's where it is. But because Tommy Hayes is rolling my machine, nobody ever saw it. And nobody ever knew about it except for Tommy and me until now.
wow! You go, you
You
let the
can
cat
make
out.
mistakes,
I mean,
but if your
that's
tape
teamwork.
operator is good enough, you can pull your butt out of the fire. And I also won for that. I won the framing award for the year, the Gradelli framing award. You can see it there, boys. Nobody.
Yeah.
about it, but
he put out
Pete Stendel
he gave out his own awards. Fred gave out his own awards.
Fred gives out awards every week. There's an award, and let me believe you me, the cameramen on that crew, we work hard to get. We want the award. We want the award. It's like winning the game. You win the award, you really want to win the award. And I won the award for the whole year. I won the award for the whole year, and yeah,
You're proud of that, but I mean, but that's
that
because
shot. Yeah,
yeah,
somebody.
I mean that.
Yeah, I'm
But that's
proud of that. I'm proud of that moment because it's a distillation of all the years I played football and shot football. You know, and feel like when you've played the game that you feel comfortable and you feel like you have feelings and you wear your hair long like an Indian so that you can pick up the senses of exactly what's going to happen. And you walk the field before the game to feel the vibrations of where it's going to happen during the game. Because if you believe in yourself, you know that you know what it's going to happen before it even happens.
Now, so you work in Super Bowls. You've worked. That wasn't your first Super Bowl. You had worked others probably and then probably worked other shows. Now, your Super Bowl work is we could talk an hour on that. But I also want to get into your horse racing work because you, as a handheld guy, you were one of these guys that for many years you worked in that locker in that jockey room and you developed relationships in that room because there was a trust. There has to be a trust with a cameraman in certain places that that are going to make it that these guys.
There's a guy named Billy Rappaport, and he's written books about the Kentucky Derby and the Triple Crown, and he was my guy. He was my teacher for the Triple Crown and the Kentucky Derby, and I was the guy who was fortunate enough to be able to shoot the jockeys in the locker room, in their locker room. It's a sacred place. It's sacred, and I always kept the camera pointed away from them unless I was shooting them. There's never going to be a chance that they would be shot exposed or anything. After a while, they really trusted me and allowed me to do pretty much anything I wanted. And we made great shots and in great moments and in one of the biggest races in the world. And it was just so exciting and so much fun to do, to have that much freedom to shoot athletes is great. People don't give these guys credit, but jockeys are fine athletes on par with Michael Jordan or Harry Carson or anybody. I'm telling you, they're very special people, and I had a really good time doing the Triple Crown.
Well, you capture some great moments doing it, and that's the thing about, especially with horse racing, and there's storylines galore. I mean, the event itself is short, but they spend hours covering it because there's so many stories behind it. The trainers, the jockeys, there's everybody. It's so much involvement in that, and so it's a really fun production to get involved in. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize how much of that's produced, how well it's produced, how many elements are involved. Drew, who does that as well, it was incredible at how he manages all those different elements. I mean, it's I don't know if most people who are watching this or know about this business. I mean, most shows you watch, a couple of talent here or there. Think about that show. There's talent everywhere. There's guys calling the race. There's people analysis here, there, everywhere. Wireless cameras here, there, everywhere in the jockey room. There's your big shows. I mean, it's just a lot of production. I mean, you've had the opportunity to work on a lot of these big shows, Super Bowls, these, but you work local too. I mean, you did all the horse racing and stuff, and you've done a ton of college basketball for years of doing that. Did you do golf too? Did you ever get sucked into the golf?
Yeah, I did. I was senior cameraman at Amen Corner for a while, only because a couple of guys left. But did the Masters. I did a little bit of golf, not as much as as other sports. I did, but I did golf and auto racing as well. So that was nothing, no place quite as beautiful and spectacular and as well kept as Augusta. For
Yeah,
sure.
I've never gone. I got a chance to do Pebble Beach for CBS, which was phenomenal. Another beautiful court. I mean, I was like, wow, this
Yeah,
is. It looks
Augusta.
great on camera. I had the. They gave me a 4K and say, go out and get beauty shots of the course. I'm like, no problem. Easiest money I've ever made. You just
Yeah,
point the camera in any direction there, and it's a beauty shot. I mean, I'm sure the Masters is like that too. But CBS did great. You had a long relationship working with all those directors at CBS, right? Mark Grant, Mike Arnold. You've worked with a lot of people. So many directors. We talked about Drew at CBS. You worked with, Drew at NBC, but you worked with CBS guys too for many, many years, doing a lot of those jobs. So you had relations
well,
with all those guys.
CBS had football, and I was in the truck when Mark Wolf got hired to be the producer for he was working for NBC to be the producer for CBS on their big game, and I went to CBS and left NBC, and then I would leave CBS and go back to NBC when Drew called me and asked me if I would like to do that show. So yeah, it's the relationship between the director and the cameraman is a very it's a very complicated one. It's one that if you have the right director, there's nothing quite like it. It's like having good sex and having your dog listen to you and do exactly what you say. It's really special, and I've been very fortunate in my career. It's not quite over to have.
Yeah, I don't see you. I don't see you ending it soon anyway. You're too good at what you do, and you're having too much fun doing what you do. I mean,
to have these directors that were so special and trusted me so much. It just, Andy Rosenberg in the Olympics doing the alpine ski is just fantastic.
How many Olympics did you do?
Six Olympics. The first one was Barcelona. I did the Dream Team in Barcelona.
Wow,
and that was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, Larry Bird can talk a lot of shit. I tell you, even when the guys he's talking to have no idea what he's saying, he still talk. I was a handheld under the basket for that. But yeah, Olympics are an opportunity that if you ever get a chance to do that,
it's one of my biggest regrets. I didn't chase it. I wish I did.
Yeah, it's fun going. You're in another country, so you've got that going for you, for the food and for all the entertainment and everything, and socialization, and learning new languages. So,
which countries did you hit? So you did.
The countries that I really liked the best were doing the Torino Olympics, and we were in a little town called Sestriere, and then the Sochi Olympics in Russia. Was my favorite of all time because I learned Russian phrases, and we made friends from Russians, and we had a friend who was there a month before we were, and he found our clubhouse, and we went to our clubhouse translation bar, way outside the bubble. And we walked in, and they all looked at us like we didn't belong there. Everybody in the bar looked at us like, this is not good. Who are these guys? Well, back in the back of the bar was this 6'4" blonde Russian guy, and he starts coming over to us. He's coming over to us really fast, and we don't know it, but he's this guy, Sasha, had worked with my son Kai, who was with us at the time, in the winner's circle down at the end of at the ski run at the finish line, and he came up and gave Kai a big hug. And as soon as everybody in the bar saw that, Sasha lived right up the street. we were in like Flynn. We had so much fun. We had so much fun, and we met Russian people. They invited us to their houses, and we partied with them, and we had a really, really good time. The best time we've ever had at Olympics. Not for scenery. It wasn't Barcelona. It wasn't any place else. It wasn't Paris, but it was. But Russia was the best. Russia was the
No,
best.
that's a really good example and a really good lesson for people. If you're going to get in this business and you're going to travel, and I've done a lot of traveling myself, and I like you have made sure that I've seen more than just airport, hotels, and venues. I go out into these cities. If you're going to travel and you're going to get out there on somebody else's dime, don't just eat at the bar or eat at the hotel, room service. Go out, meet the locals, do stuff. I remember you and I both worked on the Super Bowl for CBS, Super Bowl in New Orleans, doing the pregame show from Jackson Square on the blackout thing, and we were done with work when all that when the shit hit the fan, and we were like, "Oh man, this is great."
Lights went out.
Yeah, I mean that was a wild one for that one. I mean, but those are all always great stories. You know, I mean that's you work in the Olympics, you work in Super Bowls, you work in the networks. But let's talk a little bit about you have gotten a chance to see this world in a lot of different events, all those different things. But you've always kept your hat in the local market. You still do a lot of local work. You like doing all these local, the local teams, and you're like a presence on these broadcasts. You know, everybody loves to see you on these shows because you add something to the show. And you know, let's talk a little about like you mentioned your son. Your son is kind of like the heir apparent to doing that. He came in as doing utility, then he stopped doing camera. He was on the road doing stuff. He's put his time in too, and he's developed his own eye for stuff. And during you shoot the RF for Mets, and the Mets director last year used to do something different. You had the RF camera, and then they had another little smaller rig that they would use sometimes, a little Movi or whatever they call them, one of those little ones. And you were like, you know what? I don't want to do that camera when I want to do my things. When I'm here, I'll do my way. But my son won't mind doing that. So that became a different thing for a way to him to do it and differentiate the way he did the show. But let's talk about how is it having your son now, seeing his work and seeing his work progress and get there. It's got to be tough for a guy to come in there and have a dad, who's been doing it for a long time, as well as you've been doing it, because you're going to be judged a little bit by that.
I'm really proud of him proud of both of my kids, but Kai didn't jump on as a cameraman. He spent time in the trenches. He was a utility.
Oh, I remember, many on the road too for you, which is not
He
easy
was my
work.
utility at a Super Bowl too. So, and he did a great job too. It's not easy at all to be a handheld utility on a football game. It is not easy at all. It's very, very, very difficult. And he did a great job. He paid his dues. He's got a fantastic eye. He surprises me. He does the camera that I usually do, and when I'm not doing it, he's coming up and making up shots that don't exist, and he's making them up. And okay, nobody's ever seen that before. Okay, it's Kai Stendel doing that. Okay, and so now it's like, who's chasing who? I got to look out. He's really that good. He's
No,
really
I love
that
that.
good.
Well, we've all been chasing you because I remember I still dip my hat into some E&Gs and fill in every once in a while. I don't do the RF as much anymore, but I always used to like that was the challenge. It's like you said, finding those shots that nobody's seen before. Like everybody gets a job, and when you're doing baseball, you talk about it. You're probably doing 100 games a year. You easily you're between the Yankees and Mets, so that's a lot. And when you're an RF handheld running around, you know sometimes the shots are there like I remember last year you had a stellar year, man. I mean, last year there was a Mets had a different director, but you had a couple of these great shots that he would let you be freedom. You had one through a guy's glasses showing the thing. You had a bunch of different crazy shots. What is that like? How was that relationship? He's not directing this year, there's a new guy, but how was that relationship, taking your camera and being able to direct yourself into different shots?
Well, I alluded to that earlier, but it's the relationship between the director and the cameraman. And when a director trusts you. He lets you do what you want to do, and because he knows the end result is going to be a favorable one. You haven't hit him over the head with a rubber mallet before. You're doing okay. He knows you're on his side, and so he lets you go there. It's a lot of fun. Some of the stuff got away from baseball, but every once in a while, a shot that's not totally about baseball, whether it's a kid eating popcorn or whatever it is it's something other than a guy on first base or a guy on second base with the pitcher or the batter. And so Billy Webb would do that too.
Yeah, I think all the greats do that because I mean, baseball has gotten better. Baseball knew they had a problem when it was 3 hour, 4 hour games, and they had issues with it because viewership dropped off. People would, like everybody loves the game, but there has to be a pace to keeping up of it. And then there was a lot of time that you have to fill these spaces. I mean, there's no other sport. I mean, it's not that we're filling time. I mean, sometimes you got announcers, like we're always told, follow the announcers. Sometimes these announcers are telling stories. You're like, what? How am I going to follow this guy's telling some story about whatever? So you had to fill stuff, and being able to be creative with your shots and do that kind of stuff it's always incredible to be able to like make something that gets the attention of the announcers that becomes part of the game. And it's funny, you know what I mean? Whatever. Like I remember
Yeah.
you've had fun. You've had fun doing it. I remember you took part in one of the seventh inning races one time, didn't you?
When yeah, I did. They used to have these races where the guys would get in cars where and drive in the outfield. And I went and talked to the people that did that. And I go, hey, could I get in the car? And they go, yeah, sure. Just show up at the seventh inning in the outfield and we'll let you get in the car. So I get in the car and I still have my walkie-talkie on and everything. And I told Dan Barr, I said, he was the director at the time. And I said, I'm in the blue car. I'm in the blue car. And so we start the race off. I'm sitting there and I realize that if you jump the gun, they're not going to start the race over again. So your mark, get set. I took off, and we're going, and I'm going as hard as I can, and I'm trying to go, and I got the lead. I'm looking, and I got the lead. All of a sudden, this car is coming up on the inside. So what do? I did what any self-respecting cameraman would do. I cheated. I grabbed his car and pulled him back, and I'm pulling him back. And you can hear the announcers. You can hear Gary going, Pete, that's not right. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? And I couldn't hold on to the car long enough, and I lost by this much at the finish line. But we've done a lot of fun things at Citi Field over the years, and that was we did a lot of fun stuff with Billy Webb there too. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You worked with Webby for years.
Have driven outside the lines because, as everyone knows, if you're in our boots, a 9 inning game can be a lifetime.
You mentioned Bill Webb. Bill Webb, Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever direct baseball. Luckily he was a New York guy for forever. You had a wonderful relationship working with him over the years, and all of his I mean, most of the guys who are directing now are proteges of Bill Webb. I mean, he's left a trail of great directors behind him, and cameramen. I mean, he pretty much shaped half the guys that are on the World Series crew now.
He was afraid of me, and he loved me all in the same breath. I had the best time with Bill Webb. Bill Webb was responsible for the first time a camera, a handheld RF handheld camera, went on the baseball field at the conclusion of the game. And it was in the World Series in Chicago, and Basinski hit the homer, and I called it before it happened. I knew what was going to happen. I was talking to my security guard, and I said, "You know what would be really cool right now?" He goes, "What?" I go, "A walk-off home run." He goes, "Yeah, that would be really cool, wouldn't it?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "You know what I'm going to do?" He goes, "No." I go, I'm going to step over that AC cord and that heater right there, and I'm going to go up to the third step right there on top of the, right by the field, and I can make sure it's up. When I make sure that ball's out of the park, I'm going to run over there to third base, and I'm going to have the camera on like this, and I'm going to follow him down about 5 or 6 feet, and then I'm going to suck in right behind him, and I'm going to put the camera up. So all you can see is his number and his name and the people waiting for him, his teammates waiting for him at home plate. Wouldn't that be cool? And the security guy goes, wow, that'd be pretty cool. And so first guy up, he hits the ball, and it's a long high fly ball to now. And he comes in, the first guy, I wish I knew his name, but he sits there and he's tapping his feet and he's pissed off and he's knocking the mud off his shoes. And all of a sudden, the next thing you hear is clink. And before I can step over that AC cord and over the heater, that ball player is up and he's on that third step already. And he's up in the air, jumping up and down. So I very calmly stepped over the AC cable, over the heater, and ran out and did exactly what I told you I was going to. And
how many times have you done that? I mean, that I feel like
a lot.
You have
but
done
that time,
that
on the way back to the truck, I thought I was a hero. And somebody said to me, don't go back to the truck. And I go, well, why not? And they go, they're really upset with you. And they go, why? I go, I had a really good shot. And he goes, the lady said, they think you went on the field before you touched home plate, so you were technically on the field before the game was over. I said, I don't think I went over the line. And they go, well, they're really upset with you. And then she goes, but you know what? Between you and me, I really like the shot. And that was it right there. I go, okay. So now you fast forward and everybody's running all over the baseball field, with cameras and stuff.
Yeah. Now once it's in the air, you can almost run out there. There's a lot more leeway in that respect. But you got a chance. You pioneered that stuff. I think you pioneered the camera and the shot. You're the guy who's done that exact shot that you talked about so many different times. But
I've also done it, but I've changed it a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Based on what Kai Stendel has done with that camera.
Do you guys talk about it? Do you guys talk about the shots every once in a while?
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? When he's doing the game, I'll be home watching him work, which is a lot of fun. A lot of fun for a dad to be doing that.
That is. Now I want to talk about so you were working the Mets a lot and a lot of that stuff. Now, you work a lot of Yankees games. You've been doing Yankees games for you worked with John Moore, another great director, for many years.
Fantastic.
But you had one of the craziest incidents ever happening. A cameraman gets hit by a pitch. You want to talk about this incident? What happened to you there?
Do I want to talk about it? Do I have a choice?
Yeah. Well,
it's I don't shoot that camera, and the camera I usually do wasn't working, so I decided to go give guys a break, give a little relief to the guys, and some guys wanted it, some guys didn't. That was the last camera I was giving relief to that day. It was low first. Gunnar Henderson, in an attempt to do the double play, really puts a lot of heat on the ball. It goes over the outstretched hands of the first baseman and hits me right in the eyebrow on my left eye. It knocks me down. I'm down and I can't see, and I've got so much adrenaline pumping through my skin that my legs are shaking. My body is totally freaking out. And
now when that happened too,
to get me off the field. What's that?
When that happened, you ended up going to the hospital. They didn't send you to the same hospital that sent the players to, did they?
No, they.
Thank God your son was at the game that night too, and he was able to meet you at the hospital too. But we were all there then. I was there. I was on the robo that night. Everybody, we were all like, is he okay? Is he okay? Because you're right. It's not a camera you do all the time. You're mostly the handheld guy. But I think there was an issue with your camera that night. And then you were like, all right, I'm going to just do relief because like we've all talked about, baseball is a bear. It's a lot of work for a lot of guys to be on camera all the
Well,
time.
actually, Heather Smith she told me to. She said, "Do relief." She goes, "Stendel, get out of here, leave." And I go, "Oh, I'm going to do this for the guys." And I should have gone. I should have left, but I didn't. But it all worked out.
You have a
Okay.
relationship with the guy who you've seen the player. Talked about what happened after that moment. I mean, you went to
Well,
the hospital. Then what happened?
uh, the next day, Gunnar Henderson called me. He was rookie of the year that year. It was his rookie year, and he called me up, and so we developed a relationship. And when he came to Yankee the next time, I went over and we had a talk. And every time he comes to Yankee Stadium, I go over and talk to him. And now some of the other Orioles, they know who I am because Gunnar tells them. And he's a very sweet young man. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. He's
Oh,
really he's a
oh, really?
fine
When
guy.
he called you, was he like, "Are you okay, sir?" Is that what it was like?
He goes, "I just wanted to call to make sure you're okay." I said, "I think that's so nice that you call." It's thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. You can just tell this guy had the right parents. And
That's so nice to hear that. I'm sure I don't even know if that's gotten out there that he did that, and it's great. But good athletes are usually good people too. Like because I would say like we've been around. You've been around more athletes, but we've all been around athletes. And you've got to develop relationship with some of those athletes and some of the retired athletes because like hockey players come back and announce and the color guys, baseball guys, retired guys come back. You know, talk about some of the other relationships you've had with some of the other people you've worked with.
well, I've most of my relationships are with the cameramen that I work with, and some of the grounds crews, and some of uh, the jockey handlers, and it's everybody below the line who are the cops, are the guys that just like we're working in the stadium, and you see these people
Yeah, but
day
when
in, day out.
you talk about the other guys that you were, what is this thing?
Oh, you're talking about those guys. Oh yeah,
No,
those guys. Yeah,
no,
those knuckleheads. Yeah, they're
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
pretty
That's a lot.
special people.
There's a couple of legends in this photo as well here.
Yeah, it's the Last Supper, featuring the Sunday Night Football crew. Uh, it's quite a great group of guys. Even though that group does not exist anymore due to retirement and
Yeah.
uh,
Well,
and the way the
nothing
wind blows.
stays the same, but those were good times, right? You had a good time with that crew. You've been on different crews. You've been able to work with so many different guys doing this. Uh, you know, having fun doing it. What inspires you now to want to keep doing it, to want to work as hard as you do work? Because you're one of the guys who, you're busy. You're really busy, keeping busy, and you're open for new things. You're on the you'll go on the road still. You'll do a lot of other work. What is it that keeps you going?
I won't go on the road now. I stay local. I don't get on planes anymore. I I'm sitting there and I'm thinking that one day I'm not going to do this anymore, and that's going to happen with everything. I mean, it's going to happen with surfing. It's going to happen with everything. There's going to come a time. But I sit there and I'm shooting a basketball game the other night. I'm shooting it and I'm going. This is your last game. This is your last game. Give it everything, God. So at the end of this game, you'll be really happy, and you won't think about, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that. This is your last game. Shoot it like it's your last game. I'm not looking at the clock anymore because it's my last game and I don't want it to be over. It's my last game. So I pretend it's my last game, and without breaking my arm and patting myself on the back. I worked really hard and I've got a reputation, and I don't want to tarnish that. And I don't want to be a slacker at this point of the game when I work so hard. So, yeah, I try to I try to uphold that standard
Till
because
the end, right? That's
there's
great. I love that you're
somebody
doing
else
that.
right behind me. There's somebody else right behind me,
Yeah,
and I know who that
he
is.
happens to have the same last name as you too,
And I
unfortunately.
want, and he knows that he's got something he's got a high bar.
Yeah, well, he'll
And
make
I
his own
know I've
mark.
got a high bar because he's my high bar too.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Well,
funny, actually.
I do want to touch on, you mentioned, your other passion, surfing. You've been a lifelong surfer. I always send you on Instagram these surfing videos because I'm not a surfer guy, man, but I've always loved it. I love the film. Everybody loved Endless Summer movies. They're phenomenal. If you've never seen them, they're phenomenal surfing movies. But this I got a love for surfing through cinema, not through the experience of doing it, watching it, and seeing how they covered it. You go out there and surf, and you go out there and surf in hot and cold weather. So, I mean, what has that been like? Has that always been an escape for you to, as part of your life, to keep you, and like you're in great shape too? Is that part of it too? Swimming and being aquatic?
No, it's not part of being in good shape, but it's definitely, as any surfer knows, you're stepping off the edge of the earth when you go in the water, and it's been proven that the ocean water, the waves and the ocean water, do something to bring you down and just level you out. But it's also, when you're out there and you're surfing, you can't think about the shot you missed yesterday or the bill that's due tomorrow, or you can't think about anything. When you're riding a wave, all you can think about is that wave and what you're doing right then. And so it's really, really, really special, just, surfing is something that takes you away. And this is something that takes you away too.
I was going to say this is the other passion you have is your artwork. You've been doing. I am so, not that it matters. I'm no art critic or judge by all means, but I've been able to watch you progress as an artist. I've been able to watch you work as an artist with a camera, but now I've been able to watch your art progress on canvas. And I've been, you bring it up, you bring it to jobs, you display it in other places. You 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 I don't want to say I guess you would call it, I guess, guerrilla art because like there's a Yes trailer at the Barclays Center that's for the it's been there for a bunch of years. As this kind of lives there, but it's kind of a little bit decorated with some artwork now. But so talk about how did you get started into the artwork because it's a similar path, right? The same mentor who led you into the television is kind of the same mentor that led you into the artwork, right? Dave Hagen.
Dave Hagen gave me a phone call and I said, "Why don't you come on down?" He lived about an hour away, and he said, "Come on down, and we'll collaborate on a painting." And I don't paint, Dave. You do. That's your thing, not mine. And long story is, I went down there and I did a painting, and I brought it back, and I was home for 20 minutes, and the phone rang, and I posted it on Facebook, and somebody wanted to buy the painting, and I sold the painting the same day. And so I took the money and went to the art supply store and I bought canvases and paint and I started painting. And the reason I started painting is Dave Hagen. And it's the same reason I started in television. It's Dave Hagen. He was my godfather and he was my best friend. And he still is.
Yeah, well, I think you
Even though
do.
he's not around anymore. He died of
Yeah, but
brain cancer in 2019.
yeah, I
Um,
know. And his sons are in the business. I mean, and he's on the Fox Super Bowl crew now doing handheld. He's doing
Kyle,
great.
Kyle shoots for Fox, and his other son Jack shoots for NBC. But
Yeah.
they're both great cameramen, and they're great guys too. Really are. But yeah, the reason I paint is because Dave Hagen got me started in it, and I never realized how much was in there until he kind of got it out of me, and I've been painting ever since then. So
now you have right now currently some of your artworks is in a gallery. You have a showing happening right now, right? Where is that
I
happening?
do. I do. I have a full-on show going on at the Mood Gallery, and that's in Neptune City on 4th. Just look it up on your phone, the Mood, Mood, Mood Gallery. Uh, they also make mood mats, but they emptied the whole store and put up nothing but Pete Stendel artwork. So it's been a lot of fun. And there's mood mats that you can buy there with my artwork on it too. If you don't know what a mood mat is, look it up.
So I'm on their website right now. So they take the recycled um wetsuits and make mats out of them, right? And then put your art on those
Exactly.
on those. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. They're using recycled wetsuits, and they're bong coasters, they're drink coasters, they're yoga mats. Um, it's very cool. Very cool company run by very cool people.
So what is your plan with the artwork? Are you do you want to do more showings? I mean, how often are you painting? Is it a regular thing for you? Has it become is it something that you want to increase to do your output as you when you want one day hang up the lens and you want to start doing more of this?
I uh, I don't want it to be a job. I want it to be something that I enjoy and that I do when I want to do it. Um, I really enjoy being in the studio. Um, the refrigerator's 7 feet away, and there's cold beer. I've got music in here. It's just really good. Um, and I can do whatever I want to do. There's nobody to tell me what to do, and there's no mistakes in art, so you can just do whatever you want to do. And uh, it's very good for my head.
What do you what's next for you? What do you want to do for the what is there more shows that you want to do? Is there more is there something that you're thinking about for your future in terms of the career? Is there something else you'd like to do? Another job, another show that you want to be a part of, or are you just open for anything anyway?
Yeah, I just think that I'm not looking at it as a work oriented thing. I just want to be happy.
That's awesome, Pete. Man, I'm so happy that you spent an hour with me today talking about your career and everything that you've done behind the lens on the surfboard and in your little studio painting, Pete. You've really inspired me over the years. I know people you're going to inspire so many people. I mean, you've just done. I want to end this with just you've had an amazing mentor in Dave Hagen. And Dave inspired me too because he was an artist in but he also did a little bit of furniture art, and that inspired me because I've always kind of tinkered in the wood shop with stuff, and he made me go back into the wood shop, and I'll never forget that working because he was directing the nets at the time when I was doing a lot of handheld, and Dave was showing me his work one time, and I said, I did used to work and I'll do some woodworking, and I really enjoyed it, and he goes, if you do it now, you'd still enjoy it. And I go, you're right. And he made me go back in there, and I'm so thankful to that. And he changed. That's a big change in my life. I do that now. I make chessboards. I spend time in the wood shop. I made tables. I made furniture for people. And why I think that's important, and why I realize that's important, and why your artwork is important, why all this stuff is important, is because you give of something that is so valuable that you don't realize. You give of your time. When you make something for somebody, you're saying, hey, I took the time to make this and I'd like you to have it. You know, hey, your artwork is like, hey, you took the time to think about this and put it together. And then when somebody buys it, you feel something for that. You're like, oh, they get it. They want to keep this because they feel what I put into this. So your mentor was an awesome guy. What do you want to tell people as a mentor who are thinking about this industry and might want to do what you do?
I think I think the thing to remember is not to give up. I think everyone has their own road, and everyone follows their own path. My path certainly wasn't Dave's path, and everyone has to follow their own path to get there, but don't give up. And keep yourself open to talking and meeting new people, because in there someplace is your godfather. And once you get a godfather, then a good godfather, you're hell on wheels. So yeah, don't give up. I would say don't give up. Don't give up. You catch 0% of the waves you don't paddle for.
Hi, Petey. That's it, man. Thank you. That's Crew Call Live this week. Crew Call Live. Nobody better than Pete Stendel, man. He is a legend, man. He inspires me. I know he's going to inspire you to want to do this and learn about this career and these crafts. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Crew Call Live. Next week, I will hopefully have somebody else. I might not. I don't know. I'm still developing what I'm going to do next week because I have a special for
Stendel
my class.
_art on Instagram.
Oh yeah, Stendel underscore art on Instagram. Just Google Pete Stendel, you'll find him. He's a Hall of Fame, well, future Hall of Fame cameraman for sure. Your work is amazing. I'm looking forward to working with you soon. I love seeing you, buddy. Thank you again, man. And that is Crew Call Live, guys. Thank you so much, buddy.